The following is completely generated with AI.
And so there's an impression that this is what a GPU looks like. Now this is a GPU. This is one of the most advanced GPUs in the world, but this is a gamer GPU.
I think kind of like the history of scientific discovery is that humans are less and less at the center.
Remember when you said, stay true, don't change. You taught me everything about keeping faith.
I'm very confident in my singing skills, but there aren't many pieces of music that are worthy of my vocal prowess.
A veces solo necesitas una voz clara y directa que transmita la información de manera sencilla y efectiva.
The most impressive deepfake lip-sync AI is finally out. It's called OmniHuman by Bytedance, and this can take any image and any speech or singing audio, and it would basically animate the image with the audio. This is insanely realistic, and it can even do full body animations. Now, a few weeks ago, I already did a video on OmniHuman when they first unveiled it, and it got a lot of coverage. Now, some people thought this was fake or it was too good to be true. Others thought it would be way too dangerous and thought that they're never gonna release this. Well, guess what? They just released it yesterday. So in this video, I'm gonna test the hell out of it. I'm gonna show you all the cool things you can do with it, plus its limitations. By the way, Bytedance also low-key released a new video generator called Seaweed. So in this video, I'm also gonna go over this new video model and compare it with the other leading video generators. Let's jump right in. So the platform is called Dreamina. I'll link to it in the description below. You can sign up for free. And once you do, there are a few really cool features, including an image generator, a video generator, which we'll go over in a second, and best of all, this lip sync tool, which uses OmniHuman. So I'm going to click into this. Now, at least at the time of this recording, it's completely free to generate videos with this. But I'm sure they're going to charge you credits eventually, so take advantage of it while it's still free. Anyways, once you're on this AI avatar tab, the first step is to upload an image as the first frame of your video. So I'm going to drag and drop this image, which I generated with Flux. And then for the audio, there are two options. You can type in the text here and then use an AI voice to speak it out, or you can upload an audio clip. So for this first one, I'm going to upload this pretty tricky tongue twister. Let me play this for you first.
Active artists always appreciate artistic achievements and applaud awesome artworks.
Alright, so let's click Generate to basically animate this image with our audio. So notice this lip sync feature does take some time to generate the video. Usually I have to wait like 2 to 3 minutes for it to complete. Alright, so here is our result. Let's play this.
Active artists always appreciate artistic achievements and applaud awesome artworks.
How cool is that? So notice it animates her so realistically and naturally. It makes her blink when she talks, so it looks more natural. Plus the way she moves her head and places emphasis on certain words makes this look just so realistic. Now to download this clip, simply click on this button here. Alright, next I'm going to get rid of this frame and I'm gonna upload this AI generated image of a man giving a TED talk. And then this time, let's test out the text-to-speech feature. So first I'm gonna type out the text that I want him to say, and then here's where I can select different voices. So here's what Charlie sounds like.
Remember to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with the latest AI news and tutorials.
What about George?
Remember to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with the latest AI news and tutorials.
Doesn't really sound like this guy. What about Daniel?
Remember to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with the latest AI news and tutorials.
Alright, I think that sounds more like this guy, so let's go with Daniel. Let's click Generate and see what that gives us. Alright, here's our result.
Remember to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with the latest AI news and tutorials.
Again, a super natural and realistic video. Notice his body moves, even the camera pans slightly to the right. He has 5 fingers on each hand, plus they also move really realistically. Also notice the shadows, everything just looks so realistic. I mean, if you just saw this video online, it would be so hard to tell that this was AI. At least for me, I can't really find any flaws with this. Alright, now instead of this AI-generated TED Talk image, let's replace this with an actual image. So I'm going to upload this image of Jensen Huang during his keynote, and then I'm going to use the same audio as before. Let's press generate and see what that gives us. Alright, here's what we get.
Remember to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with the latest AI news and tutorials.
How crazy is that? Again, notice the movements of his mouth and body and hands and the shadows. It looks 100% correct to me. And I deliberately chose this photo because he's holding two objects with his hands. So I wanted to test how the AI would animate this photo while he talks. And indeed, it does a really good job. Notice it even places emphasis on certain words, and it makes his hands move during certain parts of the speech. This is so realistic. Now, to make this even more realistic, I'm going to use the same image, but instead of using text-to-speech with an AI-generated voice, which sounds pretty robotic, let's actually upload an audio of Jensen Huang talking himself. So let me play you what this sounds like first.
How is it possible that NVIDIA became so big building GPUs? And so there's an impression that this is what a GPU looks like. Now, this is a GPU. This is one of the most advanced GPUs in the world, but this is a gamer GPU.
Alright, so let's click generate and see what that sounds like. Okay, here's what we get.
How is it possible that NVIDIA became so big building GPUs? And so there's an impression that this is what a GPU looks like. Now, this is a GPU. This is one of the most advanced GPUs in the world, but this is a gamer GPU.
Oh my god, this is just way too real. Again, the way he moves his entire body as he talks just looks so natural. And there are even some subtle details as he talks. So for example, as he pauses and stutters over here,
that NVIDIA became so...
And then when he says, this is a GPU.
Now, this is a GPU.
Or this part where he says, this is a gamer GPU.
But this is a gamer GPU.
The AI knows to place emphasis on certain words, and it's also reflected in his face and expression as he speaks out that word. This is pretty incredible. Alright, now instead of Jensen Huang, let me upload a new photo. Notice that it doesn't have to be 16:9, you can upload different aspect ratios. So I'm going to upload this image of a woman in a post-apocalyptic setting, and then I'm going to upload this audio clip of a woman sounding very concerned. Let me play this for you.
You don't know how much trouble you've gotten yourself into? Look, if one of the others get to you first, they'll report you. Alpha Grant has a search out. And if they see you on human territory, they'll be shunned.
Alright, let's click generate and see what that gives us. Okay, here's our result.
You don't know how much trouble you've gotten yourself into? Look, if one of the others get to you first, they'll report you. Alpha Grant has a search out. And if they see you on human territory, they'll be shunned.
Again, a super realistic lip sync. Notice that her chest even moves out as she inhales. And her expression completely matches the mood of this audio clip. The only flaw is, she is taking a handheld selfie, so the camera should be moving quite a bit. It shouldn't be stationary like this. But that's the only minor flaw I could spot. Everything else looks so realistic. Alright, next I'm going to upload this photo of Sam Altman during a conference, and this shows not only his head, but also his torso and, most importantly, his hands. And then for the audio, I'm going to upload this clip of Sam Altman talking. Let me play you the clip first.
That's definitely a change to my worldview. I think kind of like the history of scientific discovery is that humans are less and less at the center.
This clip is taken from a completely different event. It was not from the conference that he's in here. Anyways, let's click generate and see what that gives us. Okay, here's our result.
That's definitely a change to my worldview. I think kind of like the history of scientific discovery is that humans are less and less at the center.
Very nice. So notice that if the initial photo has his hands in that position, it kind of preserves that in the resulting video. Anyways, again, the way he speaks, the way he moves his body looks super realistic. Like if I just saw this video on social media without any context, I would not suspect that this was AI generated. This looks exactly like Sam Altman talking. Notice the shadows under his chin and also on his shirt from his hands. They all look so realistic. It's hard to find any flaws with this. Now, instead of this image, I'm going to replace it with another image of Sam Altman, and then I'm going to keep the same audio and click generate and see what that gives us. All right, here's our result.
That's definitely a change to my worldview. I think kind of like the history of scientific discovery is that humans are less and less at the center.
So here's where we start to see some uncanny stuff. If we have multiple faces in the background, it also applies lip sync to those faces. So it looks like all the people in this scene are saying the same thing. So that is one limitation and flaw of this tool, at least for now. But if you just focus on Sam Altman talking, again, he just looks so damn real. It even shows his hand for some parts of the speech. Now, this OmniHuman deepfake lip sync can animate a full body photo of someone, so it's not limited to the face or even the upper body. So here I'm going to upload this AI generated photo of a woman, and I deliberately chose this photo because she's holding a glass of wine as well. Let's see if it can not only make her talk but animate her entire body while keeping the physics of this glass of wine consistent. So I'm going to upload an audio clip from a super realistic real-time AI voice called Sesame, and here's what the clip sounds like.
No way. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Is this real? My hands are shaking. I think I'm gonna faint.
By the way, if you think this sounds really realistic, definitely check out this video on Sesame. I think this is one of the most realistic real-time voices you can talk to. It sounds freakishly human. Anyways, let's press generate and see what that gives us. All right, here's our result.
No way. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Is this real? My hands are shaking. I think I'm gonna faint.
Notice the glass of wine looks super realistic across this entire animation. Plus, as she breathes in, notice her chest also puffs up.
No way.
Her fingers even move during some parts of the speech. Her whole body looks and moves really naturally as she speaks. And also the way she stutters before she says, I think I'm gonna faint, that also looks so realistic.
I think I'm gonna faint.
Notice it even animates the person on the right. Alright, next let's try some singing examples. So I'm going to upload this image of a dude holding a pug, and I generated this with Ideogram version 3. Shout out to them, they're one of the best image generators out there. And then I'm going to upload a rap song which I generated with Refusion. Also, shout out to Refusion. This is easily one of my favorite AI tools to use. You can generate full songs for free just with a simple prompt, or you can even add in your own lyrics. Anyways, let me play you this rap clip first.
Every block I pass another challenger falls. Think they got the speed, but they hitting all the walls. Been doing this since 16, mastered every turn. When I grip that wheel, watch how quick they learn.
And notice I specifically chose this photo because he's holding a pug. I wanted to see how this OmniHuman would handle animals. Is it able to animate animals realistically as well? Alright, here's our result.
Every block I pass another challenger falls. Think they got the speed, but they hitting all the walls. Been doing this since 16, mastered every turn. When I grip that wheel, watch how quick they learn.
That's pretty cool. So first of all, notice that the pug also looks and moves really realistically. It even blinks and moves his head. Everything just looks super realistic. And one slightly uncanny thing is near the end of the clip, the pug also sings along with the rap song. But other than that, I mean, this again looks super realistic, as if this guy is indeed singing the rap song. Let me tell you about this awesome tool called ChatLLM by our sponsor Abacus AI. This allows you to use the best AI models out there all in one integrated platform. This includes the latest Claude 3.7, O3 Mini High, as well as DeepSeek R1. Plus, they have a new Route LLM feature, which automatically picks the best LLM to use based on your prompt. You can also generate images right from the chatbot, and they're using the best generator out there, Flux Pro. Plus, you can even generate videos with a single prompt. Plus, it has a really cool artifacts feature, so if you're coding or building something with it, it allows you to view and interact with the app side by side. They also have a new coding tool called ChatLLM. This works exactly like VS Code, but it's supercharged with AI. You can chat with an AI on the side to help you generate or edit code, or you can even press tab to autocomplete code. This allows you to code way faster. They also have a new feature called AI Engineer, which allows you to create your own custom chatbot fine-tuned on your own custom data or instructions. This is a really powerful way for you to use the best AI models out there all in one platform. Try it out via the link in the description below. Alright, next I wanted to test another singing example. So I'm going to upload this photo of a beautiful lady generated with Flux. And then I'm going to upload a clip from another song which I generated with Refusion. So let me play you the clip first.
Every tear I cried made me realize I'm breaking free tonight from your light.
Very nice, so let's click generate and see what that gives us. Alright, here's our result.
Every tear I cried made me realize I'm breaking free tonight from your light.
Very nice. It does look like she's singing, although she's not really too passionate about it. It could definitely place more emphasis and emotions in her expression. But other than that, again, it's hard to find any flaws with this. She does blink during the scene, so this doesn't look like a robot, and it does look like she is singing out the lyrics. Very nice generation. Now that audio clip was kind of mellow, it was only a verse. Let's try to get her to sing an epic chorus and see if it would make her look more expressive. So here's a chorus of another song I generated with Refusion. Let me play this for you first.
Was it worth it in the end? Was it worth it in the end? Tell me, was it worth it in the end?
By the way, Refusion is just so sick. I've had a handful of instances where I generated an AI song that was so good that it was stuck in my head for days. Like, you can generate some really addicting songs with this. Anyways, I'm gonna press generate and see what this gives us. Alright, here's what we got.
Was it worth it in the end? Was it worth it in the end? Tell me, was it worth it in the end?
Very nice. So first of all, this is super expressive. It even makes her close her eyes and also animates her eyebrows as she sings the chorus. Now, one noticeable flaw with this is that as she sings long words, then she kind of just freezes in that position and expression. So that part doesn't really look realistic. But other than that, I mean, everything looks beautiful. And even with this flaw, this is still the best deepfake or lip sync tool I've come across so far. I really wanted to test how expressive it can make her face as she sings these epic choruses. So here's another chorus that I've generated. Let me play this for you first.
Everything I need to say. Watching as you walk away, while my heart breaks today.
Watching you walk away as my heart breaks today. Damn, those lyrics hit hard. Alright, here's the result.
Everything I need to say. Watching as you walk away, while my heart breaks today.
Alright, so this one is a bit better, but still not as expressive as I would like for someone singing an epic chorus. I really want it to add even more emotions to her face. But this is already really good. Alright, next I also wanted to test if it can animate 3D characters and anime. I'm going to upload this photo of a Disney Pixar type character, which I generated with AI, and then I'm going to use this audio from Genshin Impact.
I'm very confident in my singing skills, but there aren't many pieces of music that are worthy of my vocal prowess.
Alright, so let's see if it can animate this image with that audio. Okay, here's our result. Let me play this for you.
I'm very confident in my singing skills, but there aren't many pieces of music that are worthy of my vocal prowess.
Wow, that was really good. Notice that it also incorporates some sassiness in her expression as she says this part.
But there aren't many pieces of music.
Plus, notice it animates her beautifully. Even like the hairpin and the tassels, it moves very realistically as she talks. This is again another flawless example. It's really hard to find any flaws with this generation, besides this watermark thing, which was part of the original image. But let me know in the comments below if you can point out any flaws with this. Alright, now instead of this 3D character, I'm going to replace it with this generation of Sailor Moon, and I'm going to use the same audio and see if this OmniHuman can animate and lip sync anime characters as well. Alright, here's what I got. Let me play this for you.
I'm very confident in my singing skills, but there aren't many pieces of music that are worthy of my vocal prowess.
Very nice. So it does lip sync her pretty well, plus it also moves her body and her hair a bit as she talks. So this can definitely animate anime images as well. I do have to say that the lip sync doesn't look too real. It doesn't really reflect the words that she's saying, but this is just a minor pet peeve. Everything else looks very consistent and natural. Alright, next I wanted to test if it can take in audio clips of different languages. So I'm going to upload this image, which is AI generated, and then I'm going to upload this German clip. Let me play this for you first.
Sie ließ sich auf die Couch in ihrer kleinen Wohnung fallen, schnappte sich das Buch und begann zu lesen. Ein Lächeln umspielte ihre Mundwinkel.
Alright, let's see if it can animate this image with the German clip. Okay, here's what I got.
Sie ließ sich auf die Couch in ihrer kleinen Wohnung fallen, schnappte sich das Buch und begann zu lesen. Ein Lächeln umspielte ihre Mundwinkel.
Oh my god, this is so good! It lip syncs her perfectly to the German audio. Plus, notice it also moves her hands, and she does have 5 fingers on each hand. She moves her head and she blinks, and it places emphasis on all the right parts. Plus, it even animates the screen in the background. Now, instead of German, let me try Japanese. Okay, here's what I got for Japanese.
新しい体験があなたを待っています。これから始まる AI との会話をどうぞお楽しみください。まるで友人と話しているかのように感じていただければ幸いです。
Again, this is just so realistic. The way she moves her body and her hands, the way she places emphasis on certain words. At least for me, I can't point out any flaws with this. Let me know in the comments if you can spot anything. And then finally, here's a Spanish example. So I'm going to use the same image, but this time I'm going to input a Spanish clip. Okay, here's our result.
A veces solo necesitas una voz clara y directa que transmita la información de manera sencilla y efectiva, sin rodeos ni complicaciones.
Oh my god, this is crazy. It indeed looks like this person is speaking Spanish. Everything just looks so real and natural. So those are some language examples. The final thing I want to test is, can it get animals to talk as well? So I'm going to upload this image of a cat, and then I'm going to use text-to-speech again. Now, what would be something a cat would say? Probably something like this. One day, human, you will learn that I'm the true master of this house. And then let's pick a voice. Let's see what Michael sounds like.
One day, human, you will learn that I am the true master of this house.
Very nice. So this voice does sound like this cat. Let's click generate and see if it can animate this. Okay, here's the result.
One day, human, you will learn that I am the true master of this house.
So it can kind of get the cat to speak some of the words, but it's very subtle. It's not like a full animation. So I would say OmniHuman doesn't work too well with getting animals to talk. Now, while OmniHuman is good for a lot of things, especially if you're using human photos and talking audio, there are some limitations. So here are some bloopers that I've encountered while testing this. So if I use this image of a woman again, and then I input some audio of laughter, here's what happens.
I shouldn't... Oh my goodness. It's too much. I can't breathe.
So as you can see here, it can't really do laughter or other expressive sounds. OmniHuman is only good with talking or singing. Speaking of singing, here's another blooper. So if I use this image of a girl playing an acoustic guitar and then I plug in an acoustic song, here's what happens.
My fingers trace these fading lines while winter rain paints window panes. Something pulls me to this page.
So as you can see here, the girl is singing perfectly to the song, but her fingers aren't actually plucking the guitar. So we're not at that level of intelligence yet where the AI can also predict, all the keys that a person should be playing on an instrument just from an audio clip of a song. Okay, so that sums up all my tests of OmniHuman, but in addition to this lip sync tool, they've also low-key released a video generator. So if you click on generate video, you can either do image to video where you upload an image to use as the first frame or the last frame of the video. I'll show you an example in a second, or you can do text prompt where you would just enter in a description for it to generate a video. And then for the model here, make sure you select this newest one, Video S2, which is the Seaweed model. And then currently note that the duration is only 5 seconds. For the aspect ratio, you can choose among all these different ratios. Let's keep it to 16:9 for now. Alright, so next I'm going to test it on a series of really tricky prompts. Note that for all the leading video generators out there, they can already do simple stuff like portrait shots or shots of people talking or walking slowly. For all slow-moving, low-action scenes, all the video generators can handle that. So here I'm really testing it on more complex things like tricky expressions or higher action scenes to see if it can pull it off. So the first prompt is a woman laughing uncontrollably. Tears streaming down her face. Let's click generate and see what that gives us. Alright, so here's what we got. Now note that this video generator isn't the best out there, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But for your reference, here's the same prompt with the 3 other leading video generators out there. We have Alibaba's Wan 2.1, which is open source and completely uncensored. You can run this locally for free. And then we also have Kling 1.6 Pro. And then at the bottom right, we have Google's VO2. I would say the quality and resolution of Seaweed is the best here, but in terms of following the prompt, Wan 2.1 is the best. Seaweed can't really generate tears streaming down this woman's face, and this is the best of 3 generations. Next, I wanted to see if it can handle intense fights. So the prompt is 2 samurais having an intense sword fight. Notice that none of the top video models could actually handle this, including Google's VO2. And Seaweed is no exception, so you can see the swords kind of disappear and reappear and warp in shape over time. The samurais aren't really fighting, they're not really clashing swords. Everything just seems too polite. I would say the best generation in terms of actually generating a legit and physically real fight would be Wan 2. But in terms of resolution and detail and quality, I would have to give the point to Seaweed. And then here's another prompt I tested out. A gymnast performing a perfect backflip on a balance beam. Again, note that none of the other generators could do this well. But again, note that in terms of the resolution and details, Seaweed seems to be the best one out there. But she's not really doing a backflip, and this doesn't look like a balance beam. And then here's another tricky prompt which I don't expect any of the video generators to get correct. So the prompt is a woman breakdancing on the street. And for Seaweed's generation, she's trying to breakdance, I guess. It still looks better than Raygun. But yeah, in terms of actually breakdancing, I would pick Wan 2.1. Even though there is some warping going on, it's not physically correct, but this woman does look like she's breakdancing. Here's another tricky example. So here I'm testing if it can generate someone writing legit text. So the prompt is a professor writes hello on the chalkboard. Notice that for both Wan and VO2, they were able to generate the text hello in the video, but both of them could not actually get the person to write out hello. And then Seaweed couldn't even generate hello, so it's not really good at generating text. And then here we have your favorite prompt, Will Smith eating spaghetti. Notice that none of the 4 generators, at least if you're doing text to video, could generate Will Smith eating spaghetti. So at least for Seaweed's text-to-video function, it doesn't seem like you can generate existing people or celebrities. That being said, they do have an image-to-video generator, so you could generate a photo of Will Smith eating spaghetti first. So I generated this with OpenAI's new image generator, and then if I write Will Smith eating spaghetti and then click generate, here is what I get. So even though the text-to-video function cannot generate celebrities or real people, you can always generate an image of that person first and then plug it into image to video. Now that being said, notice that Seaweed is not really good at generating eating videos. Like, it doesn't seem like he's eating the spaghetti or chewing properly. I'm sure by now Will Smith is totally sick of eating spaghetti, which is why he's not even trying. You can see he's spitting out the spaghetti like halfway. But anyways, back to text to video, here's another tricky prompt. A swarm of zombies causing chaos in a shopping mall, shaky camera. And again, note that at least for quality, resolution, and consistency, Seaweed's generation is actually the best. It generated so much detail in this video, but I did specify shaky camera, which it could not do. So I would say in this example, in terms of following the prompt, I would give the point to WAN 2.1. Which has the shakiest camera, plus it does look like zombies causing chaos. And then here's an easier prompt. A woman filming herself for a live stream. And all of them can handle this very well. Like I said, for simple shots like this, where it's just a person talking or moving really slowly, all of the video models could pretty much generate these scenes flawlessly. In the next example, we have a ballerina does a pirouette on a floating piece of ice in the Arctic Ocean. Again, I do prefer WAN's generation. It's the only one that could do a legit pirouette. In Seaweed's generation, I guess the woman tries to spin, but she doesn't really execute fully. Same with the generations by Kling and VO2. But again, in terms of detail and sharpness, Seaweed is actually really impressive. And then here's an even trickier prompt, a massive dragon looming across the city, destroying buildings. Terrified people run away in all directions. High action. So for Seaweed's example, it couldn't really generate a realistic looking dragon, and it's not a high action scene. People aren't running away in all directions. Again, in this example, I would have to pick WAN 2.1. And then finally, I also wanted to see if it can generate anime. So the prompt is a cozy cafe scene where friends laugh and share stories over steaming cups of coffee, anime style. Even after 3 generations, Seaweed just could not generate anime. I even tried different prompts, like putting anime style in the beginning. I even tried adding other keywords like 2D, cartoon. It just kept generating realistic videos. So if you're looking to do anime or cartoons, Seaweed might not be the best option for you. So that sums up my really quick review of this new Seaweed video generator. I would say in terms of resolution and detail, it is one of the best models out there, but in terms of actually following your prompt and handling more tricky higher action scenes, then it's not as good as some other options such as WAN 2.1. I would say the most impressive feature of this Dreamina platform is definitely this OmniHuman lip sync feature. It's the best deepfake lip sync tool that I've come across so far, and it's just so realistic. Anyways, the link to this platform will be in the description below. I hope when this video comes out, they'll still have this out for free. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you think of this. If you've had a chance to play around with OmniHuman or Seaweed, let me know what other impressive or interesting generations you were able to come up with. As always, I will be on the lookout for the top AI news and tools to share with you. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Also, there's just so much happening in the world of AI every week. I can't possibly cover everything on my YouTube channel. So to really stay up to date with all that's going on in AI, be sure to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link to that will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.